I'm very pleased to introduce Trevor Cheung, who, not only being my boss, is also Managing Director of the Open Roads community. And with him in this joint presentation is Dr. Andy Tiller, who is Executive Vice President of Collaboration and Innovation with the TM Forum. So welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Andy, you go first.
Okay, I'm going to go first. I'm Andy Tiller, and I'm responsible for the collaboration work that we do at TM Forum. That includes development of standards and best practice, open APIs, open digital architecture, our work on AI, and so on. And also, my team's responsible for the Catalyst projects, where we put these best practices and standards into use and show you real proof of concepts. You've probably seen 18 Catalyst projects outside. Recently, TM Forum has been working in close cooperation with the Open Roads community. And on a number of things, we're aligning our digital maturity models, for example. But the reason that we're doing this, and the reason that we're finding a lot of alignment, is that we have a very common vision for our industry and a very aligned view of the future of digital business and the need for digital business transformation. So let me say a few words before we get into the real practical help and guidance that this workshop is going to provide for you about what that vision is and the urgency that we as organizations believe is required. So you're probably fed up with seeing slides rather like this one, which is this is some results from the Digital Transformation Tracker survey, which TM Forum does with over 100 companies. We do it on a regular basis every 6 months. And this picture is telling you two things, both of which you probably already know very well. The first thing is that only about a quarter of the companies in our industry feel that they're already along the road with their digital business transformation journey and beginning to see real benefits from it. That means 3/4 of the companies in our industry are either just starting out or even just planning. So we're not going very fast. The second thing this survey result tells you is that if you look at the 3 different surveys that we did, DTT 1, 2, and 3, Digital Transformation Tracker 1, 2, and 3, the picture hasn't really changed in the last year. So we did one in September 2017, one 6 months later in May, and one just recently. And the picture's not moving very fast. So not only was the pace slow a year ago, it's still slow. And this has led industry commentators, the tabloid press in our industry, to put out some fairly embarrassing headlines. Such as, telcos are a bit rubbish at digital transformation. Now, we all know from having been involved in projects trying to do that, this is a little bit harsh, perhaps. Our industry is complex. It's difficult to do digital business transformation in our industry. We have very complex products and offers. We have very complex business processes. And that's because we have very complex network technology which underpins everything. And to make it worse, often the systems and processes we have in place have been built up through mergers and acquisitions of different companies, different communications companies, creating an IT infrastructure and network infrastructure which is pretty complicated. And anybody who's been involved in trying to do a transformation project to renew those systems and processes knows how difficult it can be. So, are the commentators really being unfair? Are they underestimating the complexity of what we're trying to do? I think it's true that they are, but I also think that we have to look critically at ourselves and say, some of this complexity that we have is our own fault as an industry. We have perhaps overcomplicated some of the things that we do. Just to take one example of that, one of the projects, or one of the initiatives that's happening within the TM Forum at the moment is to look at a particular layer in the open digital architecture work, the new enterprise architecture designed for a world of cloud-native DevOps and AI, which George will tell you a bit more about later. So within this open digital architecture, there's an initiative which is looking at a piece we call the core commerce management engine. And this consists of the products and service catalogs and billing. And it's an area where in our industry we've had a tradition of making it quite complicated. And the reason we've done that is to gain competitive advantage. So I remember back in probably 20 years ago, we had companies like MCI and BT, and they introduced offers like friends and family. So the idea that you would have special tariff if you're calling your friends or your family, and you could designate those members of your friends and family for whom you'd have cheaper calls. And that created competitive advantage for those companies. And so they were able to win market share because they could do this and their competitors didn't have the IT systems and processes which could do it. So in those days, it was seen as a very good thing to be able to do this more complex, in this case, billing strategy. But over the years, I think we've reached a point where the industry has overdone this. So we have had too much complexity, too much customization of the IT systems and processes in order to get competitive advantage. And now there's a general consensus that perhaps we need a more standardized approach. We don't need to have all of the flexibility that those IT systems that are customized in principle provide to us, but in practice create a huge maintenance overhead to support those customizations forever into the future. So within the open digital architecture, we haven't necessarily agreed the exact way to create a simpler reference implementation, but everybody has pretty much agreed that a simpler, more standardized, componentized reference implementation is needed. And the industry needs to simplify. So the first thing we need to do is to radically simplify the products and offers, the business processes, to enable us to have a much more agile and flexible and maintainable operation, a new operational model. Simplification is the first part of it. The benefit you get from it is, apart from what I just mentioned, you also have much greater capacity to do automation. So if you have simpler processes, they are easier to automate. And automation is becoming increasingly important. At the same time as we have these drives towards simplicity, we have new technologies which are coming on which create more complexity. In principle, we can create great efficiencies and cost savings from network virtualization, cloudization, and new business value from 5G, network slicing, and so on. But the number of parameters and knobs to twiddle to optimize performance, optimize customer experience, increases as we try to adopt these new technologies. So we need to, first of all, provide automation which simplifies all of that, the management and operation of all of that, and then we can add intelligence. It's no longer going to be possible for humans to be making all the decisions that, how to set the knobs to optimize network performance and to optimize customer experience. This is increasingly going to have to be done by machines. So simplification, automation, intelligence, this is a clear common vision that we have with OPRC and others. I think the industry is aligned around the need for this. Trevor is going to tell you a lot more about the digital mastermind, the holistic approach to tackling a digital business transformation. I just wanted to show you where TM Forum largely plays in the business design, also known as how to make money, and the digital architecture. So here we're working on the enterprise architecture principles, the open APIs, how to enable AI, and so on. And George will tell you more. So this is really the area we fit. We also work closely in partnership with other industry organizations as well to understand. So we make sure we're not duplicating effort. We're building ODA, for example, on TOGAF principles. Okay, now let's suppose we achieve simplification, automation, intelligence. We still haven't done enough to really help our industry to thrive in the new digital era. We have to do more than that. We have to actually create new business value. 5G is a good example of this. You've seen this ITU diagram probably 100 times, even at this conference, but it's a very important diagram because it shows that our existing business model is just the top of the triangle. It will be the first thing we see with 5G because devices will initially be very expensive. There'll be new smartphones, and these smartphones will work better and faster with 5G. So that's great. But that's just more of the same. And customers will increasingly expect more for the same money. We won't generate a lot of new business value from our existing business model selling smartphones with data plans to consumers, even though those are now even better and faster. Where we'll generate new business value in 5G is in the bottom half of this triangle, where we'll use 5G as an industry to enable other industries to become more digital. So the capabilities of the 5G network to provide ultra low latency, ultra high bandwidth, and massive machine type communications, these are all things which will, in principle, generate new business value for our industry. Our research shows that $500 million of new industry value will be dependent on making sure that the IT systems and processes are agile enough to be able to support it. But not just the IT systems and processes. In practice, we also believe, and this is very much again aligned with the view of the Open Roads community, is that we also need a new way of working together to achieve this. In the old world, that top of the triangle, the way we're used to working is that service providers, connectivity providers source all of the pieces that they need from their suppliers, whether that be software vendors or network equipment vendors, consultants and system integrators, and all of those pieces, they put together the solution and they take it to market to the customer. In the 5G world, we're going to have to work more collaboratively in partnership to deliver those vertical market solutions which enable all the industries you see around the side, financial services, media and entertainment, government, energy and utilities. To enable these vertical markets to digitize, we need to provide a whole set of capabilities. Connectivity, secure connectivity, fast connectivity is going to be a key part of it. But computation, edge computing in particular, analytics, data, AI, storage, software as a service, all of these things are going to be needed to be integrated properly together to provide complete solutions for those business customers in those vertical markets. And that requires a new way of working. So the vendors, consultants, system integrators, and the service providers need to be in the middle of that triangle, collaborating together to create these vertical market solutions. So these are ideas which are very much aligned between TM Forum and the Open Roads community. I'll hand over to Trevor now to tell you a bit more about how Digital Mastermind works.
Sure.
Trevor.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy, to set the industry vision. This is very important that our community work closely with the TM Forum. So in case you didn't attend my morning section, I hope I have scared many people. Well, we really need to move fast. In 18 months, if you don't do anything, we probably I like the Andy slide. The 5G, the telco may not dominate anymore. Maybe the manufacturing, maybe the financial industry, who knows? We will probably know in 2 years' time. So Open Roads community, we open to all industries. Industry associations, we partner with TM Forum and others, ecosystem partners. So today you will hear from other top leading companies in their specific domain. You will know them very soon today, this afternoon. And you can see the 24 advisory board members. And roads, I want to clarify one thing. We are not the one belt, one road, okay? We believe that in digital transformation, it should be real time, on demand, or online, do it yourself, and social as the experience or the design principles. So now is the time to go digital. I want to bring this up again because I said in the morning that I think it's important. Let me to re-emphasize. Digitize or digital, lots of us are still confusing about what do we need to do first, second, and third. So digitize, which is about operational efficiency, reliability, cost savings. So lots of us from the CIO office, we need to have a reliable network, reliable data center, reliable virtualized cloud environment. Only by then, you probably will focus on the digital, the revenue generation and growth. If you believe your business today is only focusing really doing the reliability, I don't believe you guys are doing transformation. You guys are just doing modernization. Don't call yourself so sexy. Digital transformation. You are in the wrong room. You are in IT modernization only, okay? So this is the transformation focus, improve speed and efficiency, business process and the legacy ICT, modernize it. And then next is deliver new capability and services. That's why I have, Ogilvy, ThoughtWorks, Warren Breaker to share. What are the new capabilities? What do they see? Let them to share with you. And then better capture the new digital opportunities. Why we want digital transformation? We really want to get at least one or more of these benefits. Reduce cost to serve, time to market, refresh the competitive advantage, improve the customer experience, employee experience. Culture is very important, how the employee can work happily. Andy mentioned about the new way of working, but also, are you really today customer-centric, okay? New revenue stream and models and increase brand equity, which Ogilvy will touch on the brand aspects. Then you can ultimately drive the growth. So digital transformation, if someone asks me a word, what do I remember? I hope I can really go to the board and say growth. Growth is the ultimate drivers for us to do digital transformation, not simply modernization. So digital mastermind, Jonathan mentioned just now, is something you saw the 24 advisory board members company and many contributors. You have the physical copy in front of you and you can scan and download the electronic copy, or you can pass it to your colleagues when you return back to your work later this week. And it is something we failed 4 times. We are not just to yesterday write a beautiful PPT and then give you something. It's something past 2.5 years, we failed 4 times. We failed, first of all, what is customer experience? So Ogilvy came to me, we are only talking rational. There's no emotional aspect in customer experience. Okay, first fail. Then we went to ThoughtWorks and then ThoughtWorks tell us, you guys are not really knowing what is agile, design thinking, and DevOps, all how to come together. What is really the new ways of working? Thank you, second time, okay? Then the third time is we collect a lot of this ODMM data. That's why we really encourage you to contribute your data. Then we can calibrate our model, and we believe now we have thousands of data sets and we are very comfortable. We can see the statistical distribution. Our model are reliable and able to recommend the right way to transform. Andy just now mentioned the cloud, okay? So if I open up the digital mastermind, you will see the page which is, this is 2B scenario we think. First, we need to really change to have a digital thinking. I hear a lot these 2 days, and I think Andy and I also discussed last time in Huawei campus about, think big, start small, think big, we debate a lot, okay? But can we really identify a scenario, your customer, your employee, your executive are passionate to attack the problem? Then start small with the lean startup and design thinking mode, and then think big with the how to earn money, okay? So, this morning I was with one of the big Asia operators. They are very good in the vision and ambition, empathy, opportunity, but they are aware that they probably need to think more how to earn more money, full scale, for the new revenue model. So this is, if you want to say digital mastermind, one page you want to take back home, maybe this is the page. But how can you get there? This is the most difficult questions we have been asked by this bunch of people, okay? Group managing director, he wants growth, he wants money, he wants happy customers, Pack Seifel, your boss. CMO, revenue equity, brand equity. Corporate strategy, okay, where to invest the new technology, how to apply them. So I hope you have a chance to talk to different people. So there's a corporate strategy, customer experience, COO, open architecture. Well, George has a lot of experience to share later, and the API strategy. Head of transformation. How transformation people should work with the business team rather than they just exchange email and never meet. How can they really work together? And the head of human capital development. Who should get what kind of training? And I have to tell you that I met with many HR executives. They're very scared now to train people. Because the people trained, they're so passionate. And then after a year, there's low incentive change, there's low digital environment, there's lack of meaningful customer problem to solve. Then they quit and join the competitor. I don't think you want to be that, right? Or maybe you want to be the person to go to the digital bond company. But this is what scare. Keep the head of capital development awake every night. He cannot say, don't train people. And he's scared to say, let's train the people. So we need to resolve all the issues. And we believe the maturity model, well, TM Forum, the digital maturity model, and our open digital maturity model are more or less the same. And the important thing is, how can we have a maturity model, understand the business maturity, and drive through the pathway selection, the change management per quarter, and then monthly key result measurements. These are the critical success factors from our experience. So to me, today, Andy mentioned about the business design and the architecture briefly. And then, I will let the other experts from different companies to go in detail on these aspects. So that's all. I just realized that's all for me. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to hand over to the next speaker, and you will be able to listen from open data AI, which is on the vision and ambition about the technologies, and then the empathy opportunity from Ogilvy, and the architecture from TM Forum, and the operation aspect from ThoughtWorks. Thank you very much.